My name is Needs More Dragons, and I am the Dungeon Master for Coven of the Oathsworn, which is a new D&D 5e campaign that we're going to be running with these lovely folks here this evening. We're going to take just a second and introduce everybody before I read some opening notes to kind of set the scene on what we're going to be doing. But if you have any questions, please throw them in the chat. We will try to keep up with those the best we can when we have downtime. And we'll kind of go from there. So, if I could introduce my cast and crew here, we have Eska. Could you introduce yourself, please?
Hello, hello. I'm Eska. I'm going to be the commander of the Coven of the Oathsworn.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Hoodie, could you please introduce you and your character, please?
I'm Hoodie. I am gonna be a Goliath barbarian.
Excellent. And Thalise, if you could introduce yourself, please.
I'm playing an Azamar paladin who has absolutely nothing.
All right. And Wargrim, could you introduce yourself, please?
I will play Wargrim, the Warforged Artificer who serves as the lieutenant of the Coven.
Excellent. Braveshine.
I'm going to be playing the Centaur Cleric.
I love
named, what's my name? Litnius Fairbold. You're welcome.
Litnius. I love it. And last but not least, the name that I still probably cannot pronounce, Mr. Troy, could you please?
I'm playing Citadel Minwidden, a Wood Elf assassin.
Citadel. See, if you say that 100 times fast, I might be able to get it. So, all right. All right, guys. Well, again, my name is Needs More Dragons, and we're going to get started by go ahead and reading the opening preface here. Other proficiency, yes. See, there's many distractions in this game. So if I stop and have a squirrel moment, you all will understand because my players love to try to distract me, and it's super awesome. I may smite them. Alright, so Coven of the Oathsworn, opening session, Book 1, Session 1. The Coven of the Oathsworn, as passed down through generations before, never missed their mark. No matter the task at hand, the difficulties therein, or the means by which to accomplish their goals, the Coven always deliver on their deal. This task, born from a hatred from something so sinister, even a mercenary guild would agree, is far beyond what the land's moral compass could endure. On the heels of the destruction of their former employer's kingdom, the Coven seek ways to disrupt, disable, and eventually destroy the one who plagues this planet. Though the task at hand is an important one, it is but a mere scratch in the surface of a saint's armor. Seeking to seize control of the world and place its dissidents under his cruel and oppressive control, the Iron Angel sits on his throne of jewels and sorrow, beaming with great and ignorant pride as his newly ascended form casts long shadows over his court. Every day that passes, new lands come under his control. No other god to be worshipped aside from him. All goods, money, lands, and the like belong to him now. The floating city of destruction slowly moves on watercrest, its war horns sounding as it draws nigh closer with each moment that passes. Before the arrival of the newly ascended one, the high priest, or high invoker, of his sacred temple seeks to subjugate all followers of other faiths and churches ahead of this impending attack and seizure. Repent now and beg for his mercy, and thou shalt be spared a torturous end. Worship at his altar from this day forth, and you shall know far less harm. As we descend upon the city on a cold, clear morning, High Invoker Demiri Udan meets with leaders in Watercrest and is now poised to take his leave from the holy walls of the Church of Saint Clara di Salario. The senior officers of the Coven of the Oathsworn stand ready to cut the head from this snake has decreed in their contract from Avandra, the Lady of Urs. And we will actually begin the night before that meeting in an inn with our senior leadership sitting around a table, having drinks next to the fire, discussing what it is they think that they can do to accomplish this task the next morning at dawn. Folks, you will be at the Sun Peak Inn, sitting at a table in the corner with a warm, crackling fire. There are drinks all around. There is light chatter as people come and go. There are several barmaidens who are in fair, decent dress. You know, they're okay to look at, but nothing too crazy. Watercrest is kind of a medium-sized city, so it's not, it's not like your huge capital city or anything like that, but it's definitely not just a town with shanties. So I will leave it to you guys to go ahead and get started with your discussion. Thank you for being here and playing, and I look forward to this campaign. So take it away, gentlemen.
Commander.
Well, first things first. We're going to have to get something other than the corner of an inn to have this conversation in. Eska turns, looks to the nearest barmaid and calls her over.
Uh, uh, yes, sir. What can I do for you? What can I do for you?
That's ma'am to you,
Oh,
Eska says,
I'm
black eyes shining.
I'm very sorry. Very sorry. My apologies. My apologies.
That's fine. We're going to need a room, one that can accommodate us all, one that is a little bit more private, ideally.
She stops and thinks to herself for just a second, and you see her kind of like counting with her finger in the air. She's like, okay. Give me 1 second. I just need to go and check to make sure that there is available lodging for that need, and I will be right back. Right back. I promise. And she turns around. She darts back behind the bar.
I turn back. Really? We need better help around.
You're really questioning a bard right now?
Hmm?
Is he really questioning this woman that is trying to help us?
You can't be a commander like that.
And man, I just want to know what the contract says and what are we supposed to be doing?
That's why I need a private place. Don't worry.
Okay.
You while you're sitting there talking, you see this guy kind of walk by the table. He's kind of like backhand holding a lute in his hand, and he's kind of walking towards the stage, and he hears you say, "Contract, eh?" And he spins his thing around and he starts playing a little ditty on it, and he's like, "Oh, the Coven's in town, and they're here to kill someone. Who are they gonna kill today?"
It's gonna be.
Yeah, we definitely need a private room.
Oh, come on. I'm just having a bit of fun, am I?
I turn towards the bard and immediately start to channel thaumaturgy, causing all the candles in the room to flicker just a little bit. And I'd like to roll an intimidation check as I tell him, stop.
Go ahead and roll your intimidation check, please, with advantage for that spicy thaumaturgy.
Rolling real dice, real quick.
Yeah, go right ahead. Go right ahead. I love real dice.
Around here.
Listen.
2 and
Nice.
13.
There you go. Is it 13 plus anything?
Yeah, 6. So
13
that's
plus 6. All right, so
19.
18. 13 plus 6. 19,
No,
excuse
that's
me.
19.
19. Hey, I can add some days when I have a calculator. All right, so without too much effort, he stops strumming, and one of the strings goes boing, And he looks at you, and he looks at the candles. He grabs his loot, and he puts it back down by his side, and he kind of drops his head a little bit. And he just turns around and like starts walking off towards the stage.
He just be that mean.
Sometimes you have to with these people.
He has
Although
a boy.
realistically, at the end of the day, what we're doing is for him as much as anyone else. I look and check for that barmaid.
She comes trotting back out from behind the bar. Yes, ma'am. We definitely have lodging that can take care of the coven. It's on the house. Please, just if you would just follow. And she points over to the corner, and there's a little, like, I don't know, 4.5 foot tall young boy standing there, and he's just got like a little hat on and a little suit, like a little suit coat, and he's a bellhop. Definitely a bellhop. And he'll take care of you. He'll take you right up to your room. He'll even light the fire in the fireplace for you. It's on the house. It's on the house.
Eska looks at her, smiles sweetly, slips her a few coins, and tells everyone to follow the guy.
Oh, most gracious, ma'am. Most gracious. Thank you. And she just kind of bows and steps back out of the way.
I want to pat the little boy's head, even though I'm like an 8 foot tall Goliath when we go inside the lodge.
Okay. So you step over, and do you do it as you're like walking up the steps, or
Yep, walking up the steps, I just pat the little kid like,
You
good job, good
pat
job.
him on the, and he like stumbles forward and almost like hits the stairs in front of him, but he catches himself with his hands. He like pushes himself back up real quick and kind of straightens his suit coat a little bit and kind of looks up at you like, okay, and then
Yeah.
you follow him up. He takes you up 3 flights of steps to the 3rd floor. You go to the end of the hallway, and on the left-hand side, the very last room on the 3rd floor, he swings the double doors. It's double doors. Swings the double doors open, and it's basically like a quarter of that side of the building in one like room. So it will easily fit it'll easily fit all of you in here pretty comfortably. He walks over, and it's got one of those like little long tins with a real long strike anywhere looking like matches. And he pulls one out. He's looking at it. He looks down at the fireplace and he sets it down, and he walks over there and he pulls some wood out of this little rack. Builds a nice little fire. Puts some kindling and stuff in there, and he strikes the match, and he lights it, and he turns the damper on the fireplace and gets it roaring for you, and he turns around and he goes, "Will that be anything else?"
That's perfect. Thank you.
"You're very welcome, sir. You guys have a wonderful evening." Goes out.
Before he leaves,
Uh-huh.
I will approach him
Okay.
and tip him a gold for the fire in his service. And I will slide him another 4 gold and says this is his if he stays at the end of the hall and warns us if any.
He like the weight of his hands from 5 gold, and he looks up at the Warforged, and who he's never seen before. Never seen a Warforged in his entire life. And he's like, thanks, and okay. He puts it in his pocket, and he bows and closes the door behind you, and you hear him tuk, 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 to the end of the hall, and then you hear it stop, and you hear thunk. And he's sitting on the steps at the end of the hall now.
He's a good kid.
There you go. There you go. So you now have a lookout at the end of the hallway.
Eska walks up to Wargrim and places a guiding hand on the shoulder and says, "Thank you, good friend. Could you also just double check one more time to see if there's anyone?"
I'll check out the door and check both sides of the hall.
You poke your head out and roll me a perception check.
And I was trying to use guidance. I don't know if that was
Oh, okay. And does that gains advantage, does it not? Or does it give you a D4 to your check?
It's a D4, yeah.
D4. Okay, so roll a perception check and add a D4 to it, please, Wargrim.
That'll be an 18.
Excellent. 18. All right, so you look to the right, and you see the young man sitting at the edge of the steps down there, and he sees you poke your head out, and he kind of gives you a little wave. Like, yep, everything's okay. Yep, we're good.
Fantastic.
And you look
I'm
back
going
the
to
other
take-
way, and it's a wall with a window, because you're the last room.
While I'm poking my head out, I'm going to awkwardly stare at the child for 60 seconds while pointing my finger at the ground in front of the door.
Okay.
To cast Snare.
To cast Snare?
Yes.
Okay, very good. And the kid's just kind of sitting there looking at you, and the stare goes on a little longer, and a little longer, and you see him just kind of turn and look the other way out the window.
As soon as the 60 seconds are up, I'll immediately duck my head back in and slam the door.
And he looks back down the hallway and sees nobody, and he's like, and he shrugs his shoulders, and he just sits there, and he like counting his gold coins and putting them in his pocket. Then he gets them back out, and then he puts them back in his pocket, like he can't believe he actually has them. So, okay, you are in your room. There has been a trap set at the door, and you're ready to discuss.
And you have child labor.
I mean, gotta do what you gotta do, right?
As I close the door, I'll turn to Escan Commander. We're ready.
I gather everyone in a circle, and I sit this down. I pull out the contract with a flourish, and wordlessly lay it in front of them. I say, read this for yourselves.
Very good.
And of course, it is a contract detailing us solemnly swearing to provide the service of expunging Demiri Udon, the high invoker of Saint Valoran, the Iron Angel himself, with a hefty sum, of course. As
How hefty are we talking?
2 on our treasury dice.
That's significant.
Yes, it's very significant. Hugely significant money-wise.
Might actually be able to have a keep for the Coven at that point.
Well, considering your treasure dice is sitting on a 3 right now, that would make it a 5. So, and basically with each level that goes up, it's basically exponential more gold. So, you're talking like buying yourself a castle at like 6 and 7 type stuff, and having money left over. So, but we'll discuss some of the treasury stuff offline.
Okay.
You probably
We'll see
you
about
probably won't need it tonight, but continue.
I kind of shrug. We'll see about a permanent location. I think we work a little better as a dispersed unit, but for the time being, let's see what we can do about this.
There you go.
This isn't a small task. I mean, this is one of the largest military forces and one of the most important people in that force. This is going to require a lot of planning. I trust that I can look to you guys for.
We'll do our best.
Well, heretics should meet the sword anyway. We should just walk them into the square. They should be thanking us for this.
The people of the land certainly will be, considering.
Himself is not above absolution. He deserves a better life. Dead.
I don't know if that counts as a life, but I agree with the sentiment.
Put your tactics together then.
Well, before we can make a plan, we'll need information, and you're the guy. What can you tell us about our quarry?
I don't know anything.
No information on the sorry.
Do I know anything?
It's who you know.
Is this man meant to be some sort of angel or wizard?
What you do know from the contract and from brief brief conversations that you had before you left the company of the lady was that this particular individual is the High Invoker of Saint Valoran. Saint Valoran, basically, let me see, hold on. I'm just gonna read this little snippet to you here. So, the Iron Angel. Little is known about this newly risen deity. Once a human man, born and raised in the city of Capital, much of his life is a missing place in time. No one knows where or how he became to be ascended into the ranks of sainthood. The known quality of the being is a thirst for power and rule, and for the masses to follow his every teaching. There are no others before him or after him, and to him solely will the world serve. So this particular invoker is an extremely high ranking official underneath this newly risen deity. That's the information you have.
So
I
we
thought you
just
meant about
Just as a footnote, I meant to ask that in character, not to you directly.
That's okay. You kind of need to have this information anyways because your party hasn't really had any scouting ability as the game starts here, so that's acceptable information to have.
Yeah, I was gonna ask just to go meta for a second, simply because I know like the foreword kind of talks about how the lands have been like conquered and whatnot. So I assumed that the actual like Church of the Iron Angel or what have you is pretty well known.
Yes, they are. They are. So Saint Valoran is a very well known name across the world of Orden. Um, it's a newer name because this particular process and this particular crusade, if you will, just started within the last 6 months to a year. So he's been conquering different places over the last 6 months to a year or so in game time right now.
Saint Valoran is the Iron Angel, or Saint Valoran leads the Iron Angels?
No, Saint Valoran, the Iron Angel.
Right.
So he is one and the same. That's the same thing. It's just an elongated title. So the Iron Angel is just a descriptor of him.
Okay.
He's an asshole.
okay.
Huge asshole.
So we have to find Saint Valoran.
You're looking for Demiri Udan, the High Invoker.
Okay, so we're looking for Demiri Udan.
Correct. And from the preface that I read, he has a meeting tomorrow morning at basically dawn with some town leaders at the church of hold on.
Saint Clara di Salario.
That's the one, Saint Clara di Salario.
We're being
Writing
asked to do this by Avandra.
Evandra, the Lady of Urs.
So we meeting in character is what you're saying.
Yeah, they're gonna be meeting. Basically, in the preface it also read that this particular individual goes ahead of the invasion that occurs to attempt to get the people just to bend to his will. So if there doesn't have to be an annihilation and a destruction just to get his way, and he can move on to something else, that's kind of the process that occurs. If they flip him the bird, they get run over anyways.
Okay.
So that's how this goes down.
That means we have a meeting as well.
Sounds like it. We're gonna have to see how we can infiltrate that church and get ourselves into that meeting, or, end it.
Before it begins, preferably.
I always say let's go guns blazing in there first and stop everything.
As much as I think that would be fun, it might not be advantageous. We don't know exactly what kind of resources or reinforcements they might have readily available.
That is true.
Do we know how these town leaders are reacting to this? Do they plan on just get?
You can ask around.
Oh, it's not like night.
I mean, it's like midnight. It's not midnight. It's like 8 o'clock at night.
So the meeting,
there's-
again, to be met,
That's okay.
the meeting is it public knowledge, or is this something that we, like, intel we've gathered?
That would be more intel that you've gathered. It's not necessarily like, ring the town bell, come tomorrow at 6 a.m. for a meeting with this guy. It basically was kind of more like a summons from this particular individual.
Good.
So just to put it into perspective, the meeting is supposed to take place in the town we're currently in, correct?
That is correct. In
Okay.
In Watercrest. Correct.
Just making sure.
Yep, at the Church of Saint Lacelario.
So I put the question to the table, or to the room, as to how they want to go about this. Do we think that a stealthy approach to this is going to be more appropriate, or blazing glory during the meeting?
Oh, we put the heretic to the sword and deal with the fallout. Diplomacy should be our second concern.
I'm not saying we need diplomacy, but I do think we should have tact. Citadel, I think, would probably be our best option in terms of information gathering right before we actually decide our time to strike. But I would prefer not to interrupt immediately, because they might have some information that would be pertinent to us into the land at large. Considering, the whole church is trying to take over the entire land and whatnot. It's also in our best interest to gather information about that as well.
That's a good point.
Commander says goes, I suppose.
We have to follow her, so let's just do how she wants to do it.
Citadel, can I trust you?
I've never shot a holy man before, but I can't imagine they die any differently than a regular man.
I think that your talents would be helpful, at the very least, for gathering information before the rest of us run in. If you could give us a signal, that'd be perfect.
Is he truly a holy man if he's a man of the cloth of an army of blood?
That's a
Good point. Then again, we're talking about murdering a man in a church, so
We have a holy paladin over here. She could cleanse us afterwards. We don't have to worry too much about that.
Well, I don't have a soul, so
Okay, we're
not
so
too
we're good.
worried about.
Yeah, we're good. We don't mind. All up to you, Captain.
So sounds like what we'll have to do is have Citadel start with reconnaissance and intel, and then he'll signal the rest of us to go in.
Do we know where this church is located?
It's the really pretty buildings, somewhat center of the city.
Okie dokie. Okay, that sounds easy.
Being in town for a short bit, the Church of Saint Lacelario is not hard to miss. It's the biggest building there with the tallest steeple.
Is there anybody at the church now?
Probably the priests.
I want to see if I'm just acting the captain now. If we want to do this as tactic as possible, let's find some exit strategy too as well, just in case shit gets too messed up.
I definitely think some reconnaissance is necessary. Maybe even earlier in the morning, right after sunrise or right before, we can scout and just kind of do a once over of the building itself, see escape routes, plans, ideas. Or Grim, what do you think?
I think the tactical approach is going to be much more beneficial to us. If we went in guns blazing, we might invoke the wrath of the church itself.
And I'd rather avoid that for the time, seeing as we don't have all of our forces in one place. Not to say that there would be a match anyway with our current.
Do we know who this person is that hired us?
You do. You have worked for Evandra, Lady of Urs, for probably the better part of a year, doing different jobs in the city of Urs. You've taken many contracts, so it's pretty well respected who you took it from.
But this person isn't part of this, a member of this church, right?
The
Do we
person,
know that?
the person you're wanting to kill is not a part of the Solario
No.
Church, or
No, Evandro.
she is not a part of. No,
Oh, okay.
nope. Citadel, roll me a perception check, please.
I'm sorry. There's things going on around me. I couldn't.
No, you're okay. That's fine. 18. All right.
Oh, hang on. I gotta add modifier.
Oh, okay.
Perception.
Yeah.
That's 24.
24. All right, cool. You hear a commotion outside in the hallway, kind of down towards where the boy was sitting, kind of down that way.
We have action outside, guys.
I'm going to open the door, poke my head out without stepping onto my invisible snake.
You see the boy at the end of the hallway holding something in his hand with two hands.
Boy, what do you have?
He like shakes and almost drops it, and he turns around and he's holding it and he's looking at you. And he like slowly walks down the hallway.
Boy, what is it? Come no further.
It's. And he just holds it out.
Who gave it to you?
Shrugs his shoulders.
Throw it down the stairs.
He cocks
Throw
his,
it down the stairs, and there's 5 gold in it for you.
He walks back over to the stairs and chucks it down the stairs.
What the hell did he just chuck down the stairs?
I don't know. I had a bad feeling about it.
I thought this kid was a good kid.
I don't think he knows what it was either.
I fell asleep. I fell asleep at the top of the steps. The next thing I know, this thing was in my lap. It startled me and I dropped it on the floor.
Hmm.
I'll sidestep my snare and make my way down towards the end and peek down the stair.
Wait, I can use Divine Sense to detect if it's at least evil, right? It's 60 feet.
Sure, you'd have to kind of go out in the hallway a little bit because he
Yeah,
chucked it down the
volunteer.
fucking steps. You detect.
Hey, you never know.
That's okay.
He's right.
You detect a very faint good sense at the bottom of the steps.
Can I attempt to Arcana check it from the top of the stairs?
At disadvantage, sure.
Is this detecting evil as well?
Yeah, Divine
Hey,
Sense
even
is
at disadvantage, that was a 21.
There's an aura coming off of it, but it's not arcane in nature.
It's what?
It's
But not arcane
it
in
is
nature?
not arcane in nature. There's
Okay.
an aura coming off of it, but it's not arcane.
All right.
I'm gonna go pick up the thing.
You walk down the steps and pick it up?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You give it a once over, and it is a leather-bound quiver with a single arrow in it.
Ah, well,
Bring
better
it back.
safe than sorry.
Do you open it and kind of look at it, or do you take it back to the room?
I just bring it back and drop it on the table.
Okay.
I
Oh,
give
hello.
the boy the 5 gold as promised.
Since I did.
His pocket is now jingle jangling. Like, you don't, like
He's gonna retire.
this kid can barely walk. His like pockets are swaying and slapping him in the nuts as he's walking down the steps. He's like, I don't know what to do with this.
Invest.
For his life.
So he said,
His work-life balance just went like this. All right,
Okay.
so you get your package, and it's on the table now in your room.
Someone knows we're here. Clearly.
Your package on the table.
Here we go.
Package drop.
Just laid it out there, huh?
Just helicoptering it for like nobody's business.
God,
Sapros isn't in this campaign.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Yet.
Special guest.
okay.
Crazy mask wearing druids.
Somebody gave us a single arrow. Can't imagine that's ominous.
An arrow. I'll pick it up.
'Kay.
And see if I know anything about it. It's fake, it's material, anything.
Okay, so let's do this. Let's have you roll an investigation check first.
Okay. 7 plus 4, 11.
Okay. So you look at it, it's well crafted. It balances perfectly in your hand. It is made of a very like dark brown, almost black oak. The fletching is golden feathers, and the arrowhead itself is extremely sharp and kind of it's almost in like a rounded like a rounded fashion. It's not a perfect triangle, it's more rounded, but it's like a razor's edge all the way around it. And in the front of the arrow point, like just behind where the bladed edge is, there is a teeny tiny golden little stone etched into or placed into the arrowhead.
This is in
Well,
fact
I'm-
an arrow.
I am going to pick up the arrow if I.
If he hands it to you, sure.
I'll
Alright.
hand it over.
Go ahead.
Holding the arrow in both hands at eye level, I'm going to cast Identify.
Uh, so this arrow is it is it is not made from one singular source. It's not elven. It's not dwarven. It's not human. It seems to be something like each piece of this arrow represents several races in your time of traveling the world and seeing different smiths and craftsmen and things like that. Okay, thank you, Litnus. The shaft of the arrow is very elven in nature. The way it's carved, balanced perfectly. The fletchings are human in design because they're instead of being real poofy, they're very sleek and slender. And the arrowhead itself lends itself to a lot of dwarven type architecture, like thought processes, because there's there's lots of archways and things like that. It's very, very reminiscent of something dwarven in nature. So it's almost like a trifecta, if you will, of craftsmanship in this one arrow.
The one stick.
It may be safe to assume that this arrow was meant for us for this exact contract that we're engaging in. Seems to be made from multiple races, especially the races that I believe the enemy has already decimated in various areas.
One could surmise that.
It's almost as if it's a collaborative revenge.
That was actually something I was about to say. If we're going to be going up against the church, I'm assuming we'd make some enemies if we actually succeed with this tomorrow. If we're going to be going up against the church, I can't imagine that there aren't several resistance forces that are opposing them across the world. And I think it would probably be beneficial to, if not align ourselves with one of them, at least use them for a distraction.
Do we have any contacts within the church right now? Do any of you
You
guys know anyone?
Well, murdering the man seems like a way to get instant credibility.
True.
I think it would be beneficial to know where in the church this meeting is taking place. Give me the opportunity to find an angle through a window or in a dark nook.
That is, I think, why we'll be scouting out ahead of time before the meeting tomorrow. I'd like us to get there a good bit before dawn so that we can actually scout the church before they get there and be prepared. Maybe take up positions if necessary.
I could, also knowing my way around a church or two, I suppose I could speak to this Demiri also and offer my assistance to the Iron Angels and get a little bit of insight.
Interesting. I might take you up on that, but I think for now, we'll go with the current plan.
As you wish.
Anyone have any last minute ideas? I think for now, this might be the best move we have.
Sounds good. We're good.
All right. Wordgrim, keep your traps ready. And I think we should get ready for the morning.
all right?
Are we, Captain, are we resting in here for the night? Commander?
Actually, good point. Let's move ends. So let's have one of you inquire about the various inns around, and we'll pick one. But not this one.
Toby!
The little boy comes running down to the end of the hallway and comes
Road
running.
trip.
Comes right at the door.
Wait, is your name actually Toby?
He just comes when he's called. You gave him 10 fucking gold. You could call him chicken fucker and he would come running.
Well, chicken fucker, do you know of any other inns that would satisfy us for the night?
Yeah. Why are you leaving?
Reasons. Don't worry about it.
Well, the only one that might be open with room left this time of night would be the Gray Bear Tavern. They might have some rooms left.
Are they worth our time?
I hear they got good food and good drink.
That's good enough for them.
Just in this side of the mountain.
Swear to God, if there's a gnomish tavern keeper.
Hey, you know what? Don't hate on gnomes. You never know when they're going to come back to bite you in the ass.
Oh
I
boy.
can't reach it.
Burn it down.
Very true. Very true.
Turn to the commander. Commander, does that sound good?
I believe we're heading to the Gay Bear Inn.
The Gay Bear Inn.
I keep
Nope.
telling you guys, Stavros is not in this campaign.
Get it.
Oh my god.
It's been a year. You got to give me a couple of these.
Somebody in chat clipped that. That was hilarious. That was the Gray Bear in the gray, like as in the color.
What else?
Okay.
The color.
Oh, daddy.
Oh, daddy. The
Gray.
Gray Bear Inn. Yes.
Bear.
Oh my. Oh my.
Will there be bears at this Gray Bear Inn?
I mean, one could suppose, I guess. I don't really know, but you know, I guess you just got to go find out, huh?
We will. I'll give it a Yelp review after we're done with this.
Better ask the right questions, I guess. God damn you guys.
Yo, Captain, are we heading out or not?
Yeah, let's go to the Gay Bear Inn.
All right, so the young boy, takes you guys to the door. Make sure you get all your belongings and wishes you farewell. Gives you some final directions. Go to the end of the street, turn left, go all the way to the end of the block, and the Gay Bear Inn will be, which is canon now, Gay Bear Inn, will be at the end on your left-hand side, the 3-story structure with the, the people dressing up outside as gay bears dancing around. Down that way. Go that way.
5 stars. 5 stars.
Just not sure if they're people or bears.
I mean,
Could be either.
You'll just have to find out, won't you?
Do we have to?
Curious minds here.
What was the question?
We gotta find out if they're bears or people in costumes of bears.
I mean, you're just gonna have to find out, huh? So you guys take your leave from the inn that you were currently at, and you're headed to the Gray Bear Inn. It takes you about 10 minutes or so to walk there. It's going on about 10:30, 10:45 at night. You come up to the establishment, which you believe to be the Gray Bear Inn, and it's fairly quiet outside. There are no gay bears dancing around outside, and there are only a few patrons coming and going. The one thing you do catch when you walk up to the door, when you go to reach for the door and you open it, this waft of just pure amazing food just hits you in the face. It's just like bacon and ham and potatoes and like just this just hearty, just this hearty, amazing, get in my mouth kind of smell. Just welcome to the Great Bear.
Crazy.
I'd like to immediately go to bed.
Oh god.
I want you guys all to know I'm part horse.
Okay.
I mean, what is this?
Christ, you're a centaur.
Giddy up. Oh boy.
Let's make sure this let's make sure this meat is not horse meat then. Just for his sake.
Ooh.
I pause, and before we decide to actually step up to the inn, I'd like to just check our surroundings one.
Okay. I guess if you can do one of two things. You can either roll a perception check, or was Wargrim, were you wanting to do it too?
I was wanting to do a quick perimeter investigation check.
Okay, so here's what you can do. You can both roll straight roll, or one of you can roll with advantage.
I'll give it to Wargrim.
Okay, for investigation.
Okay, go ahead, investigation at advantage. Then if she's gonna aid you.
21.
Okay. You take a minute to look around, and about 30 seconds or so after you scan around, you see this little figure pop out from behind a barrel
Oh God.
and then duck back down behind the barrel about just across the street.
Chicken fucker?
Do you say this out loud across the street?
Yes.
You see a little head peek out from behind the barrel again.
Chicken fucker, is that you?
He kind of waves.
What are you doing, chicken fucker?
He picks himself up off the ground and comes across the street. I just didn't want to see you guys leave. You guys were so nice to me, and I just don't get this kind of attention. They're not very nice to me, and I don't make any money.
Insight check.
Go ahead and roll.
Absolutely.
Go ahead and roll.
18?
I would also like to insight.
All right, go right ahead.
I would also like to insight, but the violence kind.
You mean you're not the quiet riot kind?
I want to use some more thaumaturgy, if that can help. Just standing in the background, just being monstrous.
It's just me trying to read his face and
Okay.
is he being truthful?
So he's young, but he's not like a 10-year-old boy. He's more like in that 15, 16,
Oh, military age.
Ish.
Okay.
Oh, we
kind of
can.
age.
Can we recruit him? That is the question now.
I don't know. Can you?
I mean, he died.
If so, I demand to have chicken fucker as my lackey.
Captain, can we go with this?
I look chicken fucker in the eyes. And again,
Okay.
I love thaumaturgy. I'm going to use thaumaturgy just to cause the tiniest sound of whispers in the background as I speak to this child. If you want to become a part of the Coven, know that the process is long and arduous. And even if you make it through that, if you don't make the cut, you will die.
He kind of looks up at you, and he's just just starry-eyed. The fact that you're the commander of the Coven is talking to me about the Coven. His eyes are just glowing, not literally glowing, but figuratively. And he reaches into his pocket, and he pulls out the 10 gold that Wargrim had given him, and he walks up to you and holds it out and puts it in your hand.
I don't take it. I just look, you can't pay me with my own money, child. If you'd like to be of use to us, we can give you other ways.
He bites his
but we're
tongue
not
for a
recruiting
minute.
right now.
Yeah, he
I'll
bites.
place my hand on Eska's shoulders. It's like, Commander, I believe this was a gesture of his willingness to sacrifice.
The boy nods.
If you would like, Lieutenant, to bring this child through the process, be my guest. But if he dies, he dies.
The boy looks up at Wargrim with a big smile. Ear to ear. He tries to hand you the money back now, Wargrim.
Nah. Keep it, chicken fucker.
Doesn't even phase him. Doesn't even phase him.
Okay.
He kind of looks up at you and he goes, so, what do you want me to do?
What are you good at?
I know this
How
town
good are
like
you with
I
the
know this
flag?
town like the back of my hand.
Chicken fucker. I think your first task then is find me an area around the church that all of us can hide. Close enough that we can see the proceedings, who's coming and going, but inconspicuous enough that we're not.
He kind of thinks to himself for a second, kind of tapping his chin. Yeah. Matter of fact, I think I know just the place. Actually, I know just the place. You just tell me when you want to see it, and I will take you there.
First thing in the morning.
All right. Do you want me to stay with you, or do you want me to go home?
That's probably the best idea. You can keep him from
What, to stay with us?
spreading information.
Yeah. Tonight, you sup with us, chicken fucker. Okay, so like for realsies for a second here, does he have a class? Because I'm making this bastard a stat block.
That's okay. Go ahead and let's see.
Induct him into your retainers.
Yeah, I would go ahead and just put him as a rogue for now, and we'll talk about it offline. You know what's interesting, and we're going to pause for just a second here. What's interesting about this game is pieces of what I've based it around the people inside the mercenary guild had like short nicknames for who they were, right? So you guys just literally did it without me even having to fucking ask you to do it. That's so perfect.
Jimothy chicken fucker example.
So good. So good. Oh my god. Okay, so back to the game.
All right, chicken fucker stat block is up.
Okay, perfect. So you you guys enter into the Gray Bear Inn, and you see a fairly open style tavern. It's almost like an old German beer hall where there's like rows of tables, like benches. There's one long dark oak serving bar at the one end, and behind it you see two just burly ass dwarves back there. I'm talking like totally grayed out, beards, braided down to a point. And at the end of the beards, at the end of the braids, you see these like little beard ties, and they are actual gray bears at the end of it.
You said they're dwarves.
They are dwarves, yes.
I'm immediately sitting down with them.
Well, they're behind the bar working, so go ahead.
Oh, okay. I thought they were at the table.
No, they're working behind the bar. Hey there. Don't see many of you around here. Where'd you come from? Nice to
I'm trying
meet
to
you.
remember the name of the town. Uno moment.
Hi, Grizzle.
Thumbgrim.
Thank you. I was looking through my backstory real quick. I'm from Thumbgrim.
Hi. I ain't been up that way in many years.
Me neither. I miss it though.
I can imagine it's pretty country up there.
I miss the stank of metal.
The name's Graham. Nice to meet you.
Wargrim.
Nice to meet you, Wargrim. So, what brings you here? What can I do for you?
Just like most other people who come, we seek food, drink, and lodging for.
And a place to plot a murder.
You
Can
say
you
that
whisper
out
that next? Yeah, no. Can you
You
whisper
say
that
that out
next
loud?
time?
No, that's quiet to the
Okay.
boys.
Don't worry about him.
All right. So, you you converse with him for just a couple of minutes, and you find out that his brother used to be an old smithy from a town that was just south of where you used to live. So you hit it off like super well, and he's like, "I'll be right back. I've got something that you need." And he disappears behind the bar.
I
And then he comes back about 5 minutes later after you hear this like a hammer, like a wooden hammer against wood.
Yeah, a wood hammer.
Like a wooden hammer hitting something wood, like something that really like thick thunk 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 sound.
Phrasing still.
Exactly. So he comes back in his little stocky build, and he's got like 3 steins in this hand and 3 steins in this hand, and he walks up and he plops them down on the bar top, and they kind of slosh out. And this like the most beautiful, dark, thick ale you've ever seen in your life just sloshes out onto the table. It's on the house. Take 'em to your friends. Let me know when you need a room. We'll send you upstairs.
What was his name?
Graham.
Grom. I thank you.
Aye, Wargrim. And he gives you like the arm shake.
Give him the arm shake.
All right. So whenever you guys are ready, after you have your drink, they lead you. One of the keeps lead you up to your room. You're again
I
on
give chicken fucker my drink, seeing as it would do me literally no.
He looks at you. He looks at the beer. He looks at you. He looks at Eska. He looks back at the beer.
I sigh. Drink it.
He nods and slams it back. Can you roll a Constitution saving throw for him, please?
He drunk as fuck.
About 5 minutes before you go upstairs, he kind of puts his hand on the back of your shoulder. And it kind of just slides down your arm, and the next thing you know, you hear, and he's laying face first on the floor. He kind of picks himself back up for a second and dusts himself off. And he puts his arm back up on your shoulder. 2 minutes later, slides back down again.
Look at Workroom and raise an eyebrow.
That
Fucker.
You guys are the worst. I can't open this on stream. I hate you.
you gotta.
I mean, you can.
I'm not going to. Pretty sure.
Please open this on stream. This glory.
Pretty sure Twitch will say not so nice.
Okay.
Vulgar.
I just want.
But have you observed it?
All right.
Is this your father? Like, I just want to know for that picture. Like, is this how you? Is this how was you made? I want to know.
Well,
Is this?
need to know.
Moving on.
All right.
The
So
head
you
game
guys,
was strong.
Okay.
All right. You guys get led upstairs. You're on the 3rd floor again. Remarkably, you're at the end of the hall on the left-hand side.
Wait, where's Chicken Fucker?
He was laying at Bergram's feet, passed out, drunk.
I'll drag him upstairs.
Okay, trying to make sure. Let's not lose this child, okay?
He knows.
Would I
the
get
way.
him upstairs though?
Every
now that he's
every few bumps of the stairs, you start to hear like just this like kind of mumbling, but kind of singing, but kind of unintelligible drivel coming out of his mouth. He's kind of like Ardeho.
now that he's properly noshed, I'm going to search his pockets and make sure he doesn't have some kind of a missive of evil intent towards us.
Certainly. Rifle his pockets, and you find the 10 gold that you gave him, a piece of half-chewed bacon, and that's about it.
I want to eat the no. I want to eat the bacon. Give me the bacon. I'm this child. I'm eating his bacon. Fuck this.
He's taking the kid's pocket bacon. Oh my god.
Okay.
Jesus
Well, I will
Christ.
tuck my dear little chicken fucker into bed.
All right. So
I'm all put it back.
Why are you gonna put it back?
I mean, are you gonna chew it up and spit it
Is
back
it already
in his
chewed?
pocket?
Why do I gotta put it back?
ABC bacon.
Oh, that's gross.
Oh,
You're buying him more bacon.
fine. We're gay bears, and they have a lot of bacon in here, anyways.
Dear Lord.
I also want to put a bucket next to chicken fucker just in case if he starts vomiting.
Very good. It's easy enough. You slide basically a trash can
Okay.
over there, like a chamber pot kind of thing,
Okay.
over to the table.
I don't know
to
if-
the bed.
I don't know if I said so. I don't drink.
Fair
Or
enough.
I'm not going to be drinking tonight, I should say.
Fair
Okay.
enough. Fair enough. All right. So as you guys gather in the room that you have been provided, there's ample space for each of you to get as comfortable as you can. Are you going to discuss further, or are you going to take rest?
Just to recap, in the morning, before the sunrise, before they arrive, we'll make our way there. Citadel, you'll be checking things out with the aid of Felice, who knows churches, and we'll be able to basically take our positions then and wait.
All right.
Aye, aye.
Okay.
Sounds good. So, since we are at a place where we can kind of take a break, we've been going for a little over an hour now. We probably won't get another break until we're done for the night after this one so that we can get through the session. So, if everybody wants to take, we're going to go ahead and take about 5 or 10 minutes at the most. We're going to get a drink, use the bathroom. Thank you so much for watching, and we will be back in just a few minutes for the continuation of Coven of the Oathsworn. Thank you so much, and we'll be back very shortly. All right, guys, welcome back. Welcome back to the stream. We appreciate your patience for our short little break there, but sometimes you need coffee and to use the restroom. So we are back. We are at the Gray Bear Inn. You guys have just taken your rest. If you sleep, you slept for a little while. If you don't, you did whatever the hell it is that you do when you don't sleep. It's completely up to you. If there's anything that anybody would like to do before we begin our new day, please speak now or forever hold your chicken fucker.
Make sure
Do
you be
want
holding.
to make use of my ring of spell storing,
Okay.
the long rest, or yeah, from the long rest, and place a shatter.
Okay. So you're going to place one expenditure of the spell Shatter in your ring. Is that correct?
It's yeah, that is it.
How many charges can your
I
ring
think that's.
hold?
I'm double checking now to make sure I've got that right.
Okay.
All right, I would like to give a quick synopsis slash of like what we're gonna do slash mini inspirational speech, about 10 minutes, so I can use my inspiring leader spell. We're just gonna be like, hey guys, just so you know, we're gonna recap. We're gonna make sure that we're sending in Citadel. We're all gonna stay back. He's gonna kind of get the good vantage points. We're gonna get into position if necessary. Ideally, he would be able to actually take this man out himself. But in the case that doesn't happen, which is likely, we'll all come in and help.
We all book it.
Wergrim, this kid is your problem. Just so you remember. We've worked for a long time. We've done too many jobs to fail now. We've got this.
Oh,
I'm just happy you didn't make me role play the full 10 minutes of speech.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh my god, my head. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna go sit in the corner now and be quiet. I'm sorry. Eska, I'm sorry. He just goes and sits down in the corner and just starts kind of slowly rocking back and forth, holding his head.
If you don't drink strong dwarven ale in one go next time.
God damn it, I can't turn this to where I don't give said bank airtime. Anyways, continue.
So, chicken fucker.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Oh,
Are you functional enough to show us the spot you spoke of?
yeah, I think I can do it. I'm pretty sure I can do it. Yeah, I can do it. Are we going right now?
Commander.
Yes, we are.
And yes, we are.
All right. All right. And he stands up. And he kind of stumbles over to the wall and bounces off of it. Rights himself. Kind of squares his clothes a little bit. All right. The first thing I actually need you to do before we go any further is please roll a performance check for your speech. Pretty please. Because I'm an asshole like that. Rub it in, rub it in.
Well, that would have been a 10.
A 10. Alright, so let's see. Choose up to 6 allies and go to 30 feet. Each create 9 temporary hit points. Alright, for your speech, everybody gains 5 temporary hit points.
Neat.
But good try. Alright, so
It was Commander.
Chicken Fucker is ready to go.
All right, chicken fucker. Point away to the church, but be quiet.
He nods. And he gathers his little bit of belongings, and he takes the 10 gold out of his pocket, and he looks up at Wargrim, and he says, "Can you please hold this for me? I can't be quiet with this in my pockets." And
Sure thing, chicken
and
fucker.
he hands it to you.
Sure thing, and I'll
All right.
take it.
All right, very good. So he leads you out of the Gray Bear Inn. It is still dark outside. The sun has not come up yet. He takes you more through the back alleys than he does the main streets. He kind of pokes his head out from behind one alley, looks both ways, makes sure there's nobody coming, and then he ushers you across into the next alleyway. And it takes probably a good.
Sorry.
That's fine. Welcome back. You have just left the Gray Bear Inn and you are on your way to the church, or to the area of the church. So you are going through alleyway to alleyway. He's making sure to check to make sure that there's nobody in the way, nobody going to spot you. Takes about a good solid 20 minutes to get to the town square. So the church. Hang on, let me get my notes here. Doop doop doo. Where are you? Num 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 num. Could have had this ready to go already. All right, so the town square. So, like I said, Watercrest is a medium-sized city. So you have a centralized square that is probably, let's call it, 4 to 5 two-story buildings long this way on both sides. It's flanked on this side by a set of buildings that are pointed in the opposite direction, forming the box of the square. On either side of that, leading into the square, there is basically a 2-lane, what back then would be a 2-lane road, right? 2 wagons can pass them on either side with room on either side. So you've got that coming in from the direction that you came. They kind of come in at an angle, right? So then there's the town square. In lining the town square in front of the church, you have various little horse-drawn carriages and things with wares. Like you see somebody setting up for the day to sell like sausages and things like that. And across the way you see somebody with pottery. And some across the way somebody's selling potions and different things of that nature. So it's just kind of like it's not really a bazaar, but there are a number of vendors kind of within the square at this point setting up shop for the day. So he kind of takes you to the back side of one of the buildings, kind of on the, if you're looking at the square itself from the direction you came, you would be in the left hand corner of the square at this time. So he kind of leads you up behind into one of the alleyways there. So I can get us into one of these buildings. It's been recently abandoned by a baker, and they used to use both stories of the building, so it should be vacant. We don't get too many people squatting around here. It's kind of frowned upon by the local town's guard, and it's usually taken care of pretty well. So this building should be pretty clean, should be what we need. And it's got a lovely view of the front door of the church.
Fantastic.
Would you like me to show you?
Yes.
Okay. Do you take everyone, or who do you take?
Citadel.
So Chicken Fucker walks over to Citadel and kind of gives you a little bit of a bow. Says, "Please follow me." And they walk down an alleyway, probably 75 to 100 yards, and then they turn left and enter a doorway and disappear. And you guys are left standing in the backside of an alleyway. You start hearing some chickens and roosters and things starting to get up for the morning. And you see this, like, really vague change in the morning sky to, like, that purpley blue color from black. So morning is coming, but it's not here yet. It's just on the verge of getting there. So, just checking. Do we have Troy back with us? I don't think I checked his mic. Are you muted? All right, I'll play his character for a minute. All right, so he leads Slidell into this doorway, into this basically two-story wooden structure. They turn into the first doorway, and you can see like an old kitchen, essentially. An old, like, rounded baking oven made of stone, where they would have baked all of their goods and things like that. They pass that, turn, and they go up a set of steps. There's a front door there, which is currently closed and latched from the outside. They go up 2 flights of steps to the second floor, where they enter into a kind of an open floor plan. So when they hit that second floor, there's no wall or no dividing of anything. It's just like an open second floor. So there are 3 windows out to the front of the square. There's one in the middle, there's one on the far end, and there's one on the end closest to the steps. I'll just roll for him to investigate as to what angle would be best. Actually, you know what? One of you roll for him. Just give me a investigation roll on what would be the best window and the best angle to the front door of the church.
20,
What?
24.
24. Okay. So you don't see him, but Slidell gently walks up to each window, carefully looking at the construction, carefully looking at the angles, lining up, to the front door where he might be able to get a shot. And he picks the far left-hand window because, as he has watched several of the clerics come in and out of the church this morning in the last 10 minutes, he noticed that the door swings open and gives the widest view in the deepest view of inside the main cathedral from that left-hand window, because the door opens in this direction. So he picks that window. He observes for a few minutes. He observes the people going on in the square around him, and then they return back downstairs to you guys in the alleyway and recant everything that I just said.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I think that's the shot. I think I can get the shot from there.
All right.
I'll drill
Have you
that.
seen
I'll drill that fucker straight in his skull.
Have you seen any positions that would be good for us to kind of stay back in, or would you prefer us stay here?
I only need one shot.
Well, we'll
I
be
say
here.
you stay back.
I trust you.
Thank you, Commander. So he takes the quiver and he takes the arrow and he slowly walks back to the door, and you see him disappear. Up to his post he goes.
How close are we to this church right now?
So why don't we just do this, huh? Stand by for map change.
Oh,
What could possibly go wrong?
Whoop. Alright, so let me zoom this out a little bit here. Alright, so here comes that fun time of trying to figure out how to put shit on the map again. Let's see if I can do it. There's that. There's that. X. Nope, not that one. Did I do that one yet? Nope, not that one. Then we got somebody who can't just fucking wait for everybody else to get an avatar. Alright.
You're on my level.
So,
Or I can put in one. I
let's
thought
see.
we were specifically using this.
So good. So, your rogue is right there, and you guys are. I don't have a building over here, but you're kind of in an alleyway over this way. We'll just say that there's a building Oh, son of a bitch! Come on. There's a building masking you guys over here, and I can even do this.
Well, I definitely want to get a better view of this guy getting fucking pegged, so I want to move.
Absolutely.
Okay, Sadell's back.
Dude. Okay, you're blocked by a building right there.
Okay.
All right. No problem. No problem, Slidell. No problem. So here, just real briefly, I'll just explain what happened. So you were led to the town square where the church is. The young chicken fucker led you to this old bakery building that is currently not in use. He took you to the second floor, where it is a completely open space. There are no walls, no doors, or anything like that. There are 3 windows facing the church. One of your teammates rolled an investigation check for you to figure out which of those windows would be the best and have the most the best angle at the front door of the church and everything out in front of you. They rolled a 24, I believe, for you, so you did really well. You were able to discern that this window gives you the best possible angle for the deepest entry into the cathedral, into the main chamber of the church. And you can basically see everything going on within the square. So, you got the arrow, and you have returned to your perch in the window.
I am outside of discussing distance with the rest of my team.
You are currently outside of discussing distance with your team.
Okay.
That is correct. If there's anything in character you would have said before you left, I will grant you permission to go ahead and say it now, because you were not here. So go ahead. Go ahead.
Pretending that I'm nearby everybody, I'll ask, can any of you guys check and see if there's any kind of funny business, any of that magical nonsense going on before I take my shot? And, signal me yes or no.
Sorry, repeat that.
Is there any way to check and see if there's any kind of magical aura or anything of that nature that would interfere with the shot and be able to signal to me yes or no?
Are you looking to shoot when he comes out of the church?
Oh, I don't know. I assumed we discussed that. Was that the plan? I'm taking a shot.
I believe so.
Scouting right now.
You're in the grassy knoll, dude. This is do or die time.
Yeah.
Well, Commander, I believe that we should push forward then, so that if the shot were to go awry, we could push in from the way.
I agree completely. Let's do that.
So we'd probably move like up to here. Perhaps half of us here and half of us here in this.
If he's asking for assistance, I will make his weapon magical.
Well, I just mean like if there's, I don't know. I'm kind of half trying to say this in character, but if anybody has the ability to determine if he has some kind of ward or reason why I wouldn't connect with the shot, if that could be done when we all see him, and like signal to me yes or no, so I know whether or not I'm just triggering a fight or I'm actually planning to connect.
That sounds like a sorcerer thing.
Linnaeus doesn't care about that.
I am not able to detect that. I don't think.
Okay, I was just thought
Raw
I'd
dog
check.
in a group.
We're raw dogging it already.
Sounds good.
But I can give you a magical weapon if you would like.
Boy.
Sure. How long does that last?
An hour.
Oh.
As long as I concentrate on it, essentially. So +1 attack rolls and damage rolls. And it's
counts as a
magical.
magical weapon.
Yeah.
Sounds
Excellent,
good.
Smithers. Excellent. All right, so you guys, are you able to move your tokens? Let's check
Nope.
that real quick.
No, we cannot.
I could not move the one that you gave me, but when I made my own, I'm good.
Okay.
Good.
So I will take your, which fucking, you're the cleric. I will delete this. Delete. Right. Oh, you know what? I bet you I know why. Because we're on the wrong fucking one. Hold on, everybody.
Bad DM.
Jesus freaking Christ. Layer. Token layer, please. Token layer. Token layer. Token layer. And token layer. Let's move this to there. And there you go. Alright. Now I'll see if you can move your shit.
I got a crit on the Pope check, and I think that means there has to be a Pope.
A
Yeah,
Pope
actually,
check. Oh, yes. It's back.
And not only was it a crit on a Pope check, it was a crit on a Pope check at the church. So, I mean, I'm just saying.
I mean, that's like
These are the rules.
That's like Saint Solario herself came down and shone upon you. Oh.
Dragons.
Yes.
I would like to ready a fireball spell.
All right, fair enough. You are holding a fireball spell, and what will be your trigger?
When I see the guy come out or into the church. Or actually, no, I'll put the trigger to after the arrow fires.
Okay. Very good.
Not going for subtlety, are we?
I don't.
That's against my religion.
We gotta kill him either way.
Legitimately going to be against his religion. That's a fact. That's so
Okay.
excellent. All right, so are you guys currently where you want to be? And can you move your tokens? Yes or no? I'm sorry.
Yes. Yes, I
Eska?
can move my token.
Eska, you can move yours. Arcus can.
I mean, I can move up
Thalise-
here.
That's
I'd
fine.
rather be up
Thalise can. Wargrim can. Slidell, can you move your token at all? Slidell, can you move your token?
Quick question. Sila, do you have a way to increase your chance of hitting? Like, do you have it? Are you going to have advantage on your or anything?
Yeah, I'll have advantage and a +10.
Okay, cool. Then never mind.
Send it.
+1.
Send it, bitch. All right, so
Send this bitch straight to hell.
Actually, I technically have triple advantage.
Jesus
Health
Christ.
and accuracy.
Nice. All right, so about 45 minutes goes by, and you see through, like, especially you, Slidell, you see some activity kind of through this front window right here, like right there. You start to see more movement. There wasn't a ton of movement before. And then all of a sudden, the front doors of the church just kind of kick open, like both of them at the same time. And you see two well-dressed clerics step out of the front. The one on the left is wearing a very fine white, basically pure white robe, with the symbol of a leaf on the left shoulder, like left lapel area. And then the one on the opposite side is wearing more of a golden, kind of a golden colored robe, with a sunburst on the same side.
We don't know what this guy looks like, do we?
We never did.
Oh no, it's a woman, isn't it?
Guarantee they have a huge hat. Whoever has a huge hat.
Shoot the hat.
Just shoot the hat. A minute or so goes by, and you see a very square-shouldered, decently tall, gaunt-looking male step out of the church behind them. And from what you can tell, he's not dressed like any of the others around him.
Is there any way I can?
And he has a very, 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 very hefty looking mace hanging off his right side.
I thought you were gonna say hat.
I mean, it could be a 10-gallon hat. You never know.
No dimmadome.
That's what I was gonna say. Oh man.
Can I throw some detect evil at 60 feet?
Are you within? Did we measure it? Are you within 60?
Yeah, it's like 35 from that alley.
There is an undoubtable fuckery cloud of evil standing in front of that church.
Quick
Also
question.
me.
Do what?
Where's Chicken Fucker?
I don't know. Where is he?
Better be with you.
Well, then he's with me.
He better be.
He
At
is.
least you would also
He
know
is.
that I ping evil.
He is tucked up underneath your leg, essentially.
Okay,
Like,
sounds good.
and
So
and
right there.
and you didn't really notice a whole bunch earlier, but he's holding a knife in his hand, like this. It's about a 2-inch blade, about this long.
Paring knife.
Just hold, yeah, essentially.
Oh boy.
Slap him on the ass. Go. Get
Yeah!
This is your time.
Attack the evil.
Caw! Oh god damn. I'm going to hell. Alright, so let me do this, because I should do this. I need to do that. So he's standing out front of the church, and I need to do... There is a cleric standing there, and a cleric standing there.
Okay.
And as he steps out between the two of them, you see him kind of throw up his hands a little bit, and you can't really make out exactly what he's saying, but the look on these two guys' or these two people's face is just of pure disgust. And they slowly start. Hang on. Can I move this? I don't know if I can move this or not. Nope, can't move it. Shitballs. So they go. This person takes a 5-foot step this way, and this person takes a 5-foot step this way. As he's standing there spouting his shit. And he's slowly ratcheting his voice up while he's doing it.
Do I recognize any kind of insignia or symbols on their clothes that would identify them as members of this church?
This one right here has a sunburst on their left chest. And there is a large sunburst on top of this church.
But the other two are different.
Correct. This one right here is white robes with a leaf, and you haven't really looked at that one super close for anything like that, or at least you haven't rolled for it. But you can if you'd like.
Yeah, I kind of feel compelled to.
Okay.
Let's see if I. What is it? 19 plus 1.
So 20 total.
Yes. Yeah, I rolled religion. I assumed that's what I was.
Okay, yeah, no problem. You on the man standing in front of the church. The first thing you notice, you rolled religion, not investigation. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You notice right away iconography that is undoubtedly the Iron Angel.
Okay.
Undoubtedly.
I will fire.
No. Get ready, boys.
Oh boy, here we go. Go ahead and roll for attack.
Okay. 2d20 for advantage, and I re-roll the lowest.
Oh,
19, 16. I'll re-roll the 16 for fun. Okay. So 19 plus 11. So 30.
Okay.
30 to hit.
All right, so here's what happens. You steady yourself in the corner. You've got the window cracked open just enough to get the angle, just enough, and you're sitting there and you're like, you take that breath and you pull the bow back. So many times you've done this before. You can't even begin to recount the number of times that you've let an arrow go, that you've felt that slip out of your fingers and heard that snap as the bowstring waffles forward and meets its tension. The arrow leaves the window with blinding speed. And all you guys see come out of the window is this little bead of yellow light. And it streaks across the courtyard. And it almost, when it gets halfway, it almost looks like it just slows down in the middle of the air. Like it's just crawling through the air. And you're watching, and you're watching, and you're watching. And you're thinking to yourself, how in the world am I seeing this millisecond by millisecond? Because it almost feels like time is standing still. It gets closer, and it gets closer, and it gets closer, and it gets closer. And right as the arrow gets ready to smoke him right in the eyeball, you see a shimmer. And the arrow goes right through and slams into the ground on the other side. And just
Fireball.
scatters up against the side of the church. Immediately after that happens, after that happens, you see this little red bead of light. Nowhere near as slow. All in real time at this point. Slams into the front of the church, just erupting in this humongous fireball. You watch as these two clerics. Hang on just a second. What's your DC? What's your DC?
Where was the line of magic coming?
It is a 15.
15. All right, that's a save. And that is a natural 1. So the cleric on this side here will take half damage, and the cleric on this side will take full damage. Can you please roll? And what level did you cast it at?
3rd level.
3rd level? Okay, so
Oh, that's a lot of ones in that.
How many d6s is that?
8d6.
8d6. Okay.
3 of those are ones.
Alright, so that was 20 total?
Yep.
Alright, so this guy takes 20 damage, and this guy takes 10. Okay, so the fireball erupts and just sends this plume of red hot smoke and ash just kind of everywhere. Right? and you watch the two clerics as they dive for the ground. One of them singed, smoking. Their robes kind of catch fire for just, well, they don't really catch fire because fireball doesn't do that. But you see them just all burnt. Both of them taking damage, right? And then all of a sudden, where the invoker had been standing, you see it flicker back into place, and he's standing there again. And through the air, you just hear this rolling thunder of laughter through the air. And it's maniacal. Just rolls through the air. Pitiful. Pitiful fools. Pitiful. You think I would take no precautions on my own life? Do you think you can put me down with a single arrow? Do you really take me for such a fool? Show yourself. Come, let us talk. Now I am intrigued. Come. Come and talk to me. Show me your face, and I might spare your lives.
I'll tell chicken fucker to stay put.
He's just this side of pissing his pants right now, so he's not going anywhere.
Good. Stay put, chicken fucker.
Let's put a short bow.
And
in his hand, push him out.
I'll step around the building.
Ah, yes, the first. Come, the Coven don't work alone. Show me. Where are the rest of you?
I've got a great sword in hand. I'm boiling with rage.
He recognizes us as the Coven, so no point in hiding it now.
Alright, so okay. Move right here just to get prepared.
Okay. Alright, so as you guys kind of come out into the square, you get yourselves kind of situated and ready. There's a little bit more laughter that comes out as he watches you guys one by one come out into the square. And he kind of scoffs at you a little bit. Honestly, the Coven of the Oathsworn. The Coven of the Oathsworn. And he just kind of looks back and forth. He looks at the clerics laying on the ground on either side of him, shakes his head. He's like, pitiful, insolent fools. Pitiful.
As a counter to his booming voice earlier, I use thaumaturgy to basically let my voice kind of be heard like right in front of him. Like it's not necessarily loud, but it has travel nonetheless.
Okay.
I'm just like, we have more than one arrow.
And you think that scares me, Commander?
You don't have to be scared.
I assure you, your arrow will do no harm. What of this world could touch someone like me?
We'll find out.
I am a direct and close confidant of the Iron Angel. Do you honestly think that he would not bestow upon me power enough to withstand scum like you? Please, please spare me the time. But we sure could use strong-minded individuals like yourselves in our ranks. Takes a little bit of time taking over the entire world.
I cut him off flatly. No.
You think we haven't been offered before?
Oh, but we could pay you handsomely, Warforged one, as he kind of winks at you. Mountains of money.
All the gold in the world could not afford our dignity.
See, that's the trouble with you mortals. Always so righteous, always so ready to do the right thing. Why don't you just get paid and get in line like the rest?
Kind of just to the team. Yeah, the fact that this priest is chastising us for being righteous, I think we should kill him.
I think it's just an illusion.
And he kind of just lets his hands go like this. Take your best shot, Commander. Show me what you got, Coven.
Did you really just come at me, bro?
Come at me.
He literally just said, "Come at him."
Come hither, brother.
Brethren,
Your best shot. Couldn't even put a scratch on my boot.
quick question, Thalise. Are you saying that in character, by the way? You think it's an illusion?
Yeah. And if it's not, I'm gonna kick his ass.
Nice.
Is there a way for us to check that?
If it's an illusion, yeah,
Yes.
you can absolutely check that. Go ahead.
With a sword.
What?
It's on your orders, Commander.
So are you
Sure, what's the
attacking? Are you
sword?
going to look for the illusion? What are you going to do?
I just chuckle and go with a sword.
Yeah, so I want to run in and make an attack.
All right, go ahead.
I think I have a thing for this, though. Hang on. I'm still learning Paladin a lot.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, so I can channel Divinity for Guided Strike, which gives me a +10 to hit.
All right, go ahead and do your thing, girl.
An 18 +10.
So 28.
Mhm.
As you charge forward, what kind of weapon do you have?
It's a great sword.
Great sword. Okay. You charge forward and you spin your sword in your hand. You grab it with both hands and you come down with the most fucking haymaker strike you could come up with, swinging through, and as just before your blade impacts the shoulder just below the neck, you see that same flicker, and it slices through thin air. And you almost, with the force of the swing, you surprise yourself because you don't connect, and you almost throw yourself completely off balance and onto the ground in front of you. And more boisterous laughter just echoing through the up into the church bell and across the courtyard.
I'll use my bonus action to spit in his face, even though I know it's going to go through him.
Splat.
Worth it.
At that, he like roars back in laughter, just having a great old time. And he kind of turns and he looks at the commander. He completely ignores you, Thalise, like completely ignore. Look, basically like through you, looking at the commander. So, Eska, commander of the Coven of the Oathsworn, come to kill little old Demiri. Couldn't even figure out that I'm not even really there, standing in front of you, could you?
That's simply because you're a coward.
Yeah.
Oh, coward. Coward, you say? It's funny you should say that. In the back, behind where you were, you hear this loud echoing sound. It gets louder. Louder. And you turn around and you look behind you, and all you see are these streaks of red streaking out of the sky towards the city. And they start in the south of the city first. The first one impacts. The next one impacts. Then another. Then another. You see pieces of buildings go flying. You hear people screaming in the morning sun. And the rain doesn't stop. The whole southern section of the city now under full attack. Ball after ball of flame and fire comes screaming out of the sky and impacting the dirt, impacting the wood, the stone, the brick, the flesh. Black smoke rising as far as the eye can see. Tormented screams of burning people, dying, wisp past you in the morning breeze. And more laughter echoes through the courtyard. Fools. Here I come with a deal to save this city. Here I come with a deal to spare lives. And you spit in my face. Well, maybe I should give you something to play with after all, shouldn't I, little Coven? And with that, you see him disappear. And he's gone. And you hear this ripping sound off to the side of the church. But you hear it twice. You hear this like tearing, like almost electrical, like if you've ever been close to a bolt of lightning as it's hit the ground or anything, like anywhere near you, and you hear that almost like a ripping of air sound. And all of a sudden, if I had the right thing selected, go away. You see these two 8-foot tall demon looking entities land on the ground right here. And they turn and they look at you and they smile with this big toothy grin. And it's initiative, bitches. Let's roll some dice.
Hell yeah.
We're gonna get some shit on. We're gonna get some shit on.
How am I supposed to roll this?
Alright, so on your character sheet there should be a little tag for initiative, and you should be able to click it, and it should pop right up. Alright, so
there we go.
alright, so I got that. Now I need another piece of paper. There's the piece of paper. Alright. 25 to 20. Anybody? 15 to 20. Anybody?
19.
Who's me?
Felice.
Elise is a 19?
Mm-hmm.
19. Alright. Anybody 15 to 20?
I'm 17.
Alright, so Orcus. 17. Alright. 10 to 15. Anybody else?
We're slow.
I got 15.
Sorry, Mike was muted. Citadel has 13.
Citadel.
Wargrim's 15.
Wargrim. 15. Alright, so we got that one there. And then we got. Alright. 10 to 5.
Eska's at an 8.
Alright, hold on a second here. Is this a 12? Eska's 8. 8. Alright, and 1 to 5.
I'm a 3.
Litany This is a 3. Alright, so at the top of the round, let me get my sheet pulled up here so I know what the fuck I'm actually doing. Character sheet. There we go. Whoopsie boo. Break it out. Take it to the other screen. Now I can see what I'm doing. Alright, so first up we have Thalise. Standing in front of you, you have 2 8-foot tall demon-looking motherfuckers who want to eat your face.
Elise has never looked this fucking stoked in her life.
Alright, baby girl, where are you going? I'm going to do a little bit of map cleanup while you're getting yourself in position.
So I'm just moving in on this one, and I'm going to use my first attack.
Alright, go ahead and swing away.
12.
A 12?
Mm-hmm.
12 does not hit.
I'm going to attack again.
You swing, and he raises his spear, and your longsword glances off the side of it in a shower of sparks. All right,
That's crazy.
next. What was your second?
The second is 18.
18. Hold on, I think an 18 hits. Let me look at your. Nope. 18 just misses.
Damn, y'all are fucked.
All right. Next on the encounter order would be Orcus.
Okay, so I go into my barbarian rage while I'm getting close to him.
All right, so you use a bonus action to rage. You are now raging Mr. Orcus.
Right here, and so I just swing with my hand axe that I have.
Okay, go ahead and roll for an attack, please.
So I just click on the hand axe and it should do it?
It should.
Okay. Go.
All right, that is a miss.
Oh boy.
So let me explain it to you real quick. You might already know, but the left-hand side is your normal roll. If you had advantage, the right-hand side would be your second roll.
Okay.
So the 12 misses.
Okay.
Thalise, roll damage for one of those hits then for me, please.
I gotta get D6 out.
That's okay. Do you only get one attack, Orcus, or do you have 2 attacks?
How do I?
Pretty sure barbarians have multi-attack, don't they?
Attack option.
2 attacks on the attack option.
For bonus action combat, yeah.
Oh, no, because you used your bonus action to rage.
Yeah.
You cannot take your second swing. That's correct. On your next turn,
I can take 2 swings.
you can take 2 swings. Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
All right. So next on the order we have Wargrim. Wargrim with a 15. It is your go.
You got 11 damage, by the way.
11 damage. All right. Thank you so much.
I was gonna defense, but we'll worry about that.
All right. That we're gonna tile that one as number 2. Cam 2. Cam 1. Minus 12. You said.
11.
11. Thank you. All right. Wargrim, your turn.
Is that arrow still on the ground around here?
It is laying in pieces up against the church.
Oh, okay. It's destroyed.
Yeah, it's not functional. The pieces are there, but it's not functional.
Okay, cool. Looking at the range of this thing real quick. I'm going to move in to Ruin to Boots her and cast a Shatter right there.
Okay.
So they didn't make dexterity saving throws.
That's okay.
No, I'm sorry, Constitution saving throws.
Slidell, what did you need, sir?
I was just curious. Did you just say you went to get the arrow?
No, collect it after we deal with these bastards.
All right, I thought you asked and you said it was in pieces or something.
It is in pieces.
Oh, okay.
I didn't catch that it fractured. But yeah, they need Constitution saving throws.
All right, Constitution saving throws against what DC, please?
I believe it is 16. It is 16.
16. All right, let me grab my sheet back out here as soon as I find out where the hell it went. Where's our con? There's our con. 16, you say?
Indeed.
Alright, so that one, that's a success. And that one is a success.
Okay, 24. So they take 12 damage if they succeed. 12 thunder damage.
12, okay. Alright, very good. It is my kids' turns. Alright. So standing in front... Huh?
Fiends?
Do what?
Are these fiends?
They are not fiends, no. Wait a minute, hold on. I could be wrong on that. Stand by. Hold on. They very well could be. Give me 2 seconds and I can tell you as soon as I find my D&D Beyond back. Where the fuck did it go? Susan, my phone. Hold on. Collections. Beep beep. Monster. Browse official. Yes, they are fiends, actually.
10-4.
Alright, so the first one that is standing in front of this one right here is going to go ahead and do a... Where is my... There's my thing. Alright, so the first one is going to use his ability called Fiendish Charm. And they're going to use that on you, girl. Miss Delise.
Okay.
So, you need to make me a DC 14 Wisdom saving throw, or you are magically charmed for the entire day.
Yikes.
He has no rolls after that. Holy moly!
I've got 9 plus 6 is 15.
Alright, you successfully make the DC, and you cannot be charmed by them for 24 hours.
Nice.
That is
Either
his
of them or
action.
just that one?
You cannot be charmed by that spell.
Cool.
All
Also,
right.
real quick, if anyone else has to make saving throws, if you're close to me, I think it's 10 or 15 feet, you have +2 on saving throws.
Excellent.
Neat.
All right, so that takes
Devotion.
his turn. Next up on the list is Slidell. You are at a 13. You are next.
Yay. I'm going to shoot the one on the left.
One on the left. Okay, very good. Why do I not see your rolls?
I didn't think about it till today. I didn't upload anything to Roll20.
No
I have
worries.
D&D Beyond open in another window.
Yeah, no problem. No problem.
Okay. I will re-roll the 1 with Elven Accuracy.
Okay.
Okay. So 16 plus... Do I still have Magic Weapon?
You should.
Okay.
You should. It's gonna be not real long in this battle, but you do have it for the beginning of it.
Right. It's a grand total of 17.
17 does not hit, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry. I rolled a 16. It's 27.
A 27 will definitely hit. Just barely, but you got it.
Okay. Longbow is 1d8 plus 5.
Okay.
So it's 10. Sneak attack is 2d6.
Okay.
18 damage.
Okay. All right. Very good. Is that everything you'd like to do with your turn? Would you like to move or do anything else?
I'll just action surge and do it again.
Hit me.
Your sneak attack is 3d6, just so you know.
No, my rogue level is...
His rogue level is 4, so it's not.
Oh, okay. You're multi-classing.
He's
Sorry.
4 too. Yeah.
Never mind.
Okay, so 19, that's 30. 30 to hit.
Yep.
1d8 plus 5. It's 13 plus... No sneak attack. It's only once a turn. So
Correct. 13
plus dexterity mod is 13.
13. Okay, so that one takes 13 damage. All right, so minus 13. Okay, very good.
That's it.
And
Alright.
you added the one for the weapon, right?
Sorry.
To hit
Added for the magic weapon.
the damage or to hit?
It's both.
Oh,
Plus one
Oh.
to
well then
damage
it's
and
14.
attack.
Attack on 2 damage.
Okay, so 15. All right, very good. All right, so that brings up number dose. And number dose, seeing how these guys are right here, he's gonna go. I need to. They probably aren't quite that big, but kind of a little bit whatever here. So he's gonna go. He's gonna stay within your melee range. Well, he's not even in your melee range, so 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. All right, we're gonna do this.
Does it provoke an attack of opportunity?
It does not because this one wasn't. Hold on. This one
Yeah, he
wasn't
was
in your
range.
range. He moved around and into your range. So he was never. He didn't start inside of your. Anyways, he
Why
is
are they smaller?
because they didn't fit within the 5-foot grids.
So are they medium or what are they?
They're 8 foot.
They're 8 foot tall. So they're
So
not
they're
like
large.
they're not
Or no, they're medium then.
they're not gigantic.
Yeah.
All right,
They're my
so
size.
he is going to flank. He's going to flank and try to skewer the barbarian from the backside with his spear. That's right, I said skewer from behind.
Boo.
Let's see if this actually does the thing. Nope, does not, because I'm smart. Alright, because I forgot to enter it in correctly. So that is 17 plus... Does 22 hit, sir? Mr. Orcus?
Can I use my stone endurance as well?
You can. What does that... Does it give you AC or less damage?
As a reaction, reduce damage dealt to you by 1d12 plus 2 once per short rest.
You can most definitely do that if you want to utilize that right now. It's
Okay.
up to you. Totally up to you. And this guy gets...
Yeah, I'll use that. How am I supposed to put that input in here then? Just make sure.
There should be a
Uh,
little box that you can click.
yeah.
What was that?
So there should be a little check mark that you can click.
Well, it's not on my character sheet though.
Are you using D&D Beyond or Roll20?
Yes. Yes, I'm using D&D Beyond as well as Roll20.
It should have a box on Beyond.
Yeah, I click on the box on
Yeah,
Beyond.
so that's you've used it. Yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
And now how do I do my saving for this then?
It's against your armor class, which is in the middle of the page there.
Okay, so I just hit on my armor class?
Yeah, there's the number. Because he's coming in with what, 20 something?
Yes.
To like 22.
So what's your armor class?
13.
Yeah, so that hits.
Alright, so you take...
And then you can
Wow,
reduce whatever
that
hit
is
is.
absolute balls. That is 1d6, so 5. So you take 5 piercing damage, and you take 6. 5 piercing, and you take 7 fire damage. As his spear connects with the middle of your back and just engulfs in flames. And then he rips it back out of your body. And where he had left a small hole in your back, you just see this little trickle of blood start to come down your back just a little bit. Just a little trickle. Just a little trickle.
This little motherfucker is gonna die.
And he just scoffs at you. And he says something. Does anybody understand Infernal?
I don't think so.
Okay. You just hear some All right, and that ends their turn. We're going to continue down the list here so we can keep going. Eska, you are up next.
Okay. So what I'm gonna do
You hear eruptions behind you, getting closer and closer and closer. Screams, pain, suffering.
we're in it now, so I'm going to aim. I actually don't know how to ping, but the guy on the left,
Okay.
I'm gonna aim guiding bolt at.
All right. Is that a saving throw or is that a spell attack?
Ranged attack. So let me roll.
All right, go ahead. That's a dexterity save, isn't it?
It actually doesn't say from what I can tell. Give me one second.
No problem. That might actually be Sacred Flame I'm thinking of.
Shit.
Whoops.
So we kept trying to edit shit.
Poor Litness.
I'm not actually sure. Is it just a D20?
Yeah, actually, I think my one guy has Guiding Bolt. Hold on, I can look at his sheet. Get off the fucking screen, please. Thank you. Let me see here. Did I not take this? I thought I did. Yes. So, Guiding Bolt is when you cast. Why does it. What the fuck? Creature must be within 30 feet when you target them. Why did it write it down like that? That's fucking dumb. Alright, so it should be 3d6 damage, because it's a d6 for every slot above seconds. So what level do you cast it at? Or which spells?
I'm casting it
First level, second level, third level?
first.
Okay, so roll 3d6 for me if you would. Actually, roll to hit, and then roll the damage if you hit. So it's a spell attack.
It says 46 on my sheet, but
That's fine.
going on first level, but I don't know.
Maybe it is. I'll have to look it up. We'll roll with that for now.
Oh boy, it doesn't really matter because I rolled a 2.
Okay, well, your guiding bolt rockets out of your hand and goes right over the top of his shoulder between his wings and hits the church behind it and kind of detonates. You see a little bit of shards of rock and stuff go flying as the attack goes off. All right, last but not least, we have the drink spilling Litness. Oh, hello.
Hi.
It is your attack now.
Yeah, I'm still cleaning, but I heard you talking about me.
Okay, very good. Fair enough.
What
would you like to do?
Would like to drop the magic weapon and channel Hunter's smite into my scythe, and then I will go up here and I will whack it.
Whack away, sir. Whack away.
Okay.
Put your scythe where the sun don't shine. 22 will hit.
Alright. 15.
15 slashing damage. Let me take a little peeky poo at something real quick.
And then 2d6 thunder, but the roll thing is broken for it, so give me.
Yeah, no problem. So 6 damage? Is that right?
6 extra damage from the
Okay,
thunder.
so 15 plus 6. Let me look at this It's right here. So he takes the full 6 damage, but the 15 doesn't do as much damage as you thought it might do.
And then I need a strength save from it.
Oh, alright. That's going to be a 22, sir.
All right, he's blown back 10 feet, but he's not knocked prone.
Okay, fair enough. 10 feet, you say?
Yep.
Alright, let me get my move tool here. 5 and 10. That way? Is that okay for you right there?
That's fine.
Alright, perfect. Alright. Is that all you would like to do with your turn, sir?
Oh, I should have hit him again before he went flying, but it's fine.
Alright, very good. Alright, back at the top of the round we have Felice. What would you like to do, girl?
I'm gonna cleave these cheeks is what I'm about to do. Going on this guy. So what I'm gonna do first is cast first level series. So that's my weapon is on fire, which is dope as shit.
Cool, I like it.
And then I'm going to roll to attack for the first time.
Swing away. The green light is on.
18.
18 just misses.
And I'm gonna take my extra attack here. Yo, shut up there.
As you go to swing the second time, go ahead and roll your attack real quick, and then I'll finish what I'm gonna say.
It's 21.
21 hits. Roll damage.
Okay, so this is gonna be a lot of dice. Bear with me.
Okay.
We got 2d6 plus 4 for the actual damage, which is 13. And then
Was it 13?
13 from the sword hitting, and
Okay.
then Searing Smite is 1d6.
Okay.
Which is going to be 1, not great.
Okay.
But he's on fire.
All right.
Actually, he has to make a Constitution saving.
All right.
13.
He fails.
Okay, so he takes 1d6 damage every turn. And then I'm going to use my Divine Smite, and since he's a fiend, that's going to be 3d8 of damage. Which is 8.
Fucking bring it, girl.
12, 16 additional damage.
16 additional damage.
Yep.
All right. Let me do some math here real quick while you're doing your thing there. Keep going. You're doing fine. Keep going.
I believe that's gonna be it because I use my bonus action for the Searing Smite. So now imagine if both attacks hit. Like a bitch. Mission accomplished.
That was this one here. Okay.
Okay, so the guy that's stabbing my back, I'm gonna attack him with my axe now. So go
His ass, Seabass.
there. How do I roll for the damage? Yes, 1d6 plus 2. Yes. I just no. Yes, I should be able to. How would I?
Yeah, it's that
write
little dice symbol on the left bar.
Dice symbol right
Yeah,
here.
the row is the die, and then the number 2, 3, 4, 5 is the number of dice. If you're rolling 1, you just click the button with the D8 or D6 or whatever.
Okay, so if I click 1d6, it will do that, and then plus 2. Yep.
Hey, dragons. I'm going to interrupt real quick and just let you know it doesn't sound like audio's coming through. Your audio's not coming through.
Okay, I got it now. Can you have them check it?
It's coming through now. Thank you.
Okay. That's weird. I don't know why that got muted. I must have hit a soft key by accident. So you carved a good chunk into his chest. So are
Okay.
you going to bonus action swing again?
Yes.
Alright.
Why not? But this time I'll swing my war pick instead. Can I do that, right?
I'm sorry, what was the question? I was reading he's leaking bitch juice.
Okay. Yeah, take that for making me leak. But since I know I have another weapon on my hand, which is a war pick, I'm gonna swing the war pick instead. Now,
Go right ahead, dude.
there's that.
That doesn't hit.
Okay.
That one misses. He kind of rotates back out of the way and flings his spear up, and it just kind of off the side of it like that. That ends your turn, and it is Wargrim's turn.
Fantastic. I am casting catapult at this motherfucker. I'm taking a 5-foot or a 5-pound piece of rubble from the surrounding exploded buildings and launch. He needs to make a dexterity saving throw, DC
16.
Make sure it doesn't hit us neither.
It's all good.
That is a natural 3 for a total of like 7 or some shit like that.
Cool.
Yeah, 7. No, that's a fail.
You have an awakened trebuchet.
Motherfucking trebuchets.
23 damage. Bludgeoning.
Oh, all right. That's respectable.
Okay.
As you reach down, you kind of hear this almost metallic sound as you reach down and your elbow fully extends towards the ground, and you pick up this gigantic ass boulder piece of rubble shit that's laying on the ground, having come rocketing out of the sky from something that exploded hundreds of yards behind you. And you fucking Nolan Ryan that shit, right? Woof, 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 and you catch him right here under the chin. And you just watch as this piece of rubble splits in two and drives into his neck and just splits his neck open. And all you see are these like dangly bits of like vocal cord and shit just all exposed in the front of his face. And he kind of looks over in the direction of Wargrim while he reaches up and grabs his throat. And then he just falls forward and collapses on the ground. In a pile
Well,
of...
that rocked.
No.
You, sir, that's disadvantage on your next attack roll for shitty pun.
De-inspiration.
De-inspiration, that's right. I'm handing out, if I can hand out inspiration, I'm going to hand out de-inspiration. Lord. All
I
right.
refuse.
Well, we can just take him out of the order for next up. Just scratch that out right there. All right. That's one dead fiend motherfucker.
One dead bitch.
One dead bitch gone. All right. So you still have one dead bitch on the field, and I didn't roleplay this just a few minutes ago, and I forgot. As you finished swinging, Felice, your momentum takes you and turns you back towards the direction that you came from, and all you see in the sky south of the city is this mountain of a city floating in the air. You see a golden tower in the center of it, surrounded by this gigantic castle. And it is just slowly drifting towards the city of Watercrest. And in that moment, time slows down for you. I'm kind of going back and replaying what I would have said to you. You see these little tiny specks of black just start coming off of this floating city. Just little specks, just hundreds of them everywhere. Just everywhere. And then time speeds back up. And you finish your attack. And then we role-played into Wargrim's turn. And you hear another cascade of 15 to 20 explosions, and the screams getting closer and closer and closer. Building pieces rocketing and splashing onto the ground around you. Just all around you. Pieces of wood charred, burning. Pieces of brick and stone crashing at your feet. And one gnarly ass looking fiend still standing in front of you. It is Sladell's turn. Saladell.
I am inside on the second floor, right?
That is correct, and your building is getting pelted with bullshit.
Rude. All right. I'm gonna just kind of hop out of the window, I guess.
Okay. Can you roll me an athletics check or an acrobatics check, your choice, to land on the floor below?
Acrobatics is +8.
Okay.
13.
No, this man stumbles.
You land, and you take 1 point of damage. And you kind of pick yourself back up off the floor, dust off your pants, and go on with your move.
I will. How many feet of movement would you call that?
I will, because I'm being nice and it's late, that's a free action. Take your movement.
70 feet straight up.
70 feet
I
straight.
mean, bonus action to cunning action dash. My movement's 35.
Okay.
So 70 total.
Can you move your
I
character?
can't. No.
You can't. Okay.
Yeah, I don't
So
think I have permissions to edit anything on here. I was trying to do a character sheet earlier.
1, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 60. You want to be here or do you want to be not so close?
Ooh, no.
That's not his position.
3 blocks left of Mr. Paladin. And then I will shoot.
This is Mr. Paladin.
Schützen. Schützengratzen. Schützengitzen. Gitzenschützen. Stop him from flopping.
18 plus 10 is 28 to hit.
You hit. Roll that damage.
D8 plus 5. So 8.
8 damage. Alright. You lodge an arrow right underneath the collarbone on his left arm. And he hisses at you. Insolent humanoids. You will all perish. You will all bow to the Iron Angel. You will be his toys.
Alright, I'll speak bit.
Alright, next on the list is the very same bitch, as you called it. And he's going to use one that you haven't seen yet called Fire Ray. Boop. Did that not input submit? Does a 26 hit? And he's shooting at you, by the way, Sladell.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so that's 3d6. Does it get a save? It does not get a save. Let's see. That's 8 fire damage, sir.
Oof. Okay.
3d6 fire damage. Yep. All right. And that is his turn. Except for I think he can do that twice, but you know what? For time's sake, we're going to do it once. Next on the list is Eska.
Okay. So we're going to try this again. Second level this time.
As a fireball lands right next to you, right here. Roll me a dexterity saving throw, please.
All of us, or
Nope,
who?
just him.
Okay.
Her, excuse me.
It's always the fireball on her turn.
All right. You manage to hear it coming over your shoulder, and you roll to the left about 5 foot as a fireball impacts the ground and leaves about a 5 to 10 foot crater to your left hand side.
Cool. Well, as I let out that guiding bolt, I scream, "We have to get the fuck out of here."
Not until this bastard's dead.
All right, so guiding bolt again is an attack roll, right?
Yes.
All right, cool. And was your attack roll the 20 or was your saving throw the 20?
The saving throw was.
Okay, so go ahead and roll for your attack real quick.
I think I understand it a little more this time.
Okie dokie. If you're still hanging out with us in the chat, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. We really appreciate it. We're going to be playing every Thursday and or Friday night, depending on what day I'm working. Oh, Jesus, an 11. Sorry, buddy, that doesn't hit. Ouch. Ouch, kabibbles. All right. Is there anything else you would like to do with your... You still have a bonus action, and you have a move left. Would you like to do anything, Miss Eska?
Yes, I'm gonna move up to right behind.
All right.
And that's it for my turn.
All right, very good. Eska ends her turn, and Litness, it is your turn. Come on, pony boy.
I could do one thing, but I feel like I should just get up there with my scythe and hit stuff.
You do
So-
you, boo.
I'm gonna go up there and hit stuff.
Do centaur things.
13 probably doesn't hit.
It does not hit.
I'm gonna use my bonus action to try again.
Try again.
That does even
Natural
worse.
one definitely does not hit. You
Could've done the other thing.
swing and swings, you swing, and he just deflects it both with his spear. With all the excitement and the crashing of fireballs and crazy shit that's going on, you just can't seem to find your mark. We are back to the top with Thalise. As another fireball comes in, I need everybody to go ahead and roll me a dexterity saving throw this time, please. As it lands right here amongst everybody.
I think at least Orcus has +2.
Eska, that's a fail. Slidell, that's a fail. Hoodie, that's a success.
I have 18.
18, that's a success. Am I missing anybody?
Mine was a 12.
12
Save.
is a fail. So that is, let me get some more D6s here. Wow, what a shit roll.
That's fine.
Alright, if you failed to save, you take 13 damage. If you succeeded, you take 6.
What was the DC?
I'm sorry?
What was the DC?
15.
Okay, cool.
13 full damage.
13 full, 6 half.
So they've officially done 1 damage to me after the temp health. So now I'm really pissed off.
Ramp it up.
I'm casting Searing Smite again.
Okay, very good.
Rolling on in, and I'm taking attack.
Okay.
Natural 20 plus 7 is 27.
Very good. Go ahead and roll damage and double the dice, please.
Oh boy. Just the dice or the strength modifier as well?
Just the dice, please.
10 and 9 is 9 plus 4 is 24. And then a D8 from the smite is 7. And then Searing Smite is going to be 3d8. 5, 6, 12. So that's 39 damage?
39 damage, huh?
I think that's head math correctly.
Yeah, he's starting to look not so happy. Not so happy really at all.
Alright, and that'll do.
Right after you finish your swing again, now when you swing and you follow through and you're looking back the direction that you had come from, you see hundreds of more black specks. But now, not only do you see those specks, but closer to you, you see this motion, this out, then in, out, then in, out, then in. Hundreds of them. Just dots the sky all over.
We gotta get the fuck
Out
out of
and
here.
in.
Yeah.
It's go time.
And you hear screams upon screams. You hear echoes of moaning and crying. And now you start to see people running down the alleyways next to the church, all heading past the church in one direction. And you hear more screams and more screeches and more explosions. Louder and louder. And louder. And louder. And more pronounced and louder. Waves of people push into the courtyard where you are and begin to funnel past you. What do you do? Commander, what do you do?
Well, I wave to them. We need to join the group. But I think we still got to kill this guy. So
Orcus, it's your turn.
Okay, so let's see. I'll get right next to him, and again, I swing my axe. Do this.
Do it.
18. Is that a miss? What are we doing?
18 just
Yeah.
barely misses. I'm sorry.
Okay.
You have one more attack if you use your bonus action.
Okie dokie. So we're gonna swing the war pick now, just to see.
All right, go ahead. A 19 connects. You catch him right upside the chin, right here, and you punch a hole, and you draw it back out, and you just watch this disgusting black ichor just start to drool down his neck and onto his chest. And he looks at you with this just raging fury. You will bow to my master.
And you's a bitch. Your point is?
He just grins. What was the damage on that?
Damage. And then that's +2.
Okay, so 8 damage. All right, he's starting to look pretty winded and pretty hurt, but he's still standing. Next on the list is Worgrim. 2 for 2? 2 for 2, Worgrim? What are you gonna do?
Running forward, I grab the spear from the dead demon.
Okay.
But I grab it with a level 2 catapult spell. Literally running by it, waving my hand over it, and twisting, acting as if I was throwing it and hurling the spear at. He needs dexterity saving throw.
All right, DC 15?
16.
16. All right, DC Dex. Dex Motherfucker. 15.
29 damage.
So you watch Wargrim follow up after Hoodie's character connects with him, Orcus, right in the
For
chin.
the sake of flair. For the sake of flair.
Please flare
Because
it
I know
for me.
this will kill him.
Flare it
For the
me.
sake of flair, as I'm doing my twist and the spear starts flying, I scream, "We bow to no man!"
You watch as the javelin or spear leaves his body. And again, right before it gets to him, it just slows
Motherfucker.
down. And you watch it. It's almost like in slow motion. Connect with his mouth. Shatters open his teeth and his jaw and comes rocketing out the back of his head, exploding everything in between just out the back and just this blackish, reddish mist. And goes sailing out the black side and scatters onto the ground.
That's a kill can.
And you watch the lights in this guy's eyes just fade away. And he just turns to ash as he hits the ground. Into this kind of like grayish purple ash, just kind of fades away
Also
and
known
into the
as
wind.
bitch dust.
Hashtag bitch dust.
I'll be more creative when it's not 2 a.m, I promise.
No, I totally understand. All right, so this guy dies, and there are now hundreds of people running past you in this direction. Chicken fucker runs right up to you guys right here, and he's like, listen, we have to go right now. I know exactly how to get out of here. You have to go with me. Right now, we have to go right now.
Commander,
go.
we're going with chicken fucker.
We gotta go right now.
I'm grabbing the arrow fragments.
Okay, perfect.
That's it. And Commander, I agree. We need to leave. And this chicken fucker knows the city better than we do.
He knows the ins and out. We got this.
I think the commander fell asleep.
Commander?
No, I agree. We gotta go.
Okay. So he takes you all, and you wind through some back alleys this direction here. And it's almost like he knows exactly where to duck and dive into every nook and cranny of the city on your way to wherever it is that you're going. And you pass people, and you pass people, and you pass people. And it's almost, again, like you're slowed down. Everyone else around you is just fading away as you just run and run and run and run. And then there it is. You pop out, and there's the ocean in front of you. Glistening, blue, cobalt, dark, cold. The waves crashing up against the dock. The sea breeze smacking you in the face. The smell of burnt embers flooding in behind you. Dissident whispers of screams and moans and pain flood the air behind you. And as you turn to look before you step foot onto the dock, all you see is a floating citadel, now resting above the city of Watercrest, not encompassing over where you are, but ever so close. The city in complete ruin, flames spreading from building to building. People, parts of people, people carrying children, women, dogs, cats, their belongings, their possessions, all flooding in one direction towards the ocean. Because in Watercrest, there is nowhere to go but the ocean. You see, Watercrest is backed up against a forest. And that forest lies at the base of mountains that are 100% not passable by any means but flight. So there is nowhere to go. There is nowhere to run. everyone dying, everyone being bled out in front of you. And as you come to the docks, you see 4 ships before you, still docked. Vigorous activity up and down the dock. People running, shouting, barking orders. Chaos ensues. And that's where we're going to stop for tonight. Thank you guys so much for joining us here on the channel. We really appreciate you staying up late with us if you're watching the VOD. Thank you for checking us out. We really hope you enjoy it. The quality is only going to get better as we go along and we learn more, and as our cast gels and gets together more. So we really appreciate it, and we will see you next week, either Thursday or Friday. We will try to put out that schedule as soon as we can. But thank you so much for joining us, and we hope you had a wonderful time. Have a great evening.